What's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Raney Outdoors. My name is Seth, and today is January the 4th of 2020, and I'm going to bring you guys along this year with my fishing adventures. This is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time, and I finally got the time and the energy to be able to do it. And I'm really excited about this channel, guys, and I hope you are too. We're out here at just a little local pond, and I'm just going to kind of do this as like a test video and just see how I can edit and that kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you guys my setups and run through my baits and stuff, what I got tied on and set up. So hang on. All right, guys, so let me show you what I got working with me today, or brought with me. This is a Shimano Jackal Poison Adrena. Oh, you can't really see it. It's a Shimano Jackal Poison Adrena. I got it paired up with a Bantam 150 HG. It is the 7:4 gear ratio model, and I've got that with a 7.3 medium heavy, and then I got tied on there's a little Mega Bass. I have no clue how to say that word. Just a little swim jig with a Kitech trailer. And then for my second setup, I have got a Shimano X-Prod, and this is the 7.3 extra heavy paired up with a Corrado DC 150 HG. Again, that's a 7:4 gear ratio model. And then on there I've got a Burrito Baits Nacho Gill, and I've got a 17-pound Sunline on there. And then on that one, on the Adrena, I've got a 50-pound Power Pro Max Corrado braid along with a 17-pound monofilament leader. And then for the last setup I'm going to be working with today, this is a Shimano X-Prod again. It's one of my favorite rod and reel setup combos. This is the 7.6, if I don't hit the tree, 7.6 medium heavy, and I've got that paired up with a Shimano Bantam MGL 150 XG. So this is an 8:5 gear ratio. And then on there I've got on there just a little Arky style jig. This is a Dirty Jigs, and then on that I've got a Reaction Innovations Spicy Beaver on there. And hang on just a second, and I'm gonna show you my bag, just kind of what I got working with me today. And this just kind of goes to the bag, and I've just got a bunch of random just crap thrown in here. But let's go ahead and get the show started. So what's good about this pond is that there's a ton of grass in it. So that swim jig, I have a feeling, is really going to shine today. I actually came up here this time last year and caught my very first fish of 2019. Just a little, it was like a pound, it was just a little dink. It was nothing special. Caught it actually on chatterbait. But as you can see, like, they've cut down all the brush and stuff, so you're actually able to fish this. And I'm actually going to start off with the Burrito Baits Nacho. That's what I'm going to start off with. I'm thinking I should look in this part, but it'll be all right. But this is a custom mate maker. His name is we all call him Carp Hugger in the swim bait universe, but this is one of his signature series baits. This is actually going to be my first time fishing with this. I've been trying to get one of these for a very long time, and I'm so blessed that I'm actually able to have one. But this is their crappie color, and let me make sure everything's set. And we're just going to give it a first cast. First time ever using the swim bait, and I'm really excited. But like I said, I've got this paired up with a Shimano X-Prod 7.3 extra heavy. This is normally my frogging and flipping stick, but where the baits weigh a little over out, I think it's right around 2 ounces. So, oh wow, the swim on that looks really, really good. Golly, that's so cool. And then if you guys don't know, that reel noise that you're hearing, it's not that my reel's messed up or anything. This is the digital control Shimano Corrado. So what that does is it's got a little chip in there, and whenever you cast, the spool rotation, sorry for the wind noise, I don't have a mic yet, but the digital control system in there, what it'll actually do is whenever the spool rotates, it will engage that chip and actually cause the spool, the speed of the spool to actually slow down so you don't backlash. So like if I set this thing, and it's got different like controls on, like 1 is for, I think it's for fluorocarbon, 2 is like for monofilament, 3 is for braid, and then 4 is like, it's like for beginners. So like if I set this thing to 4, it I don't even have to touch it and I don't even backlash, which is really awesome for beginners or for kids or anything like that. Really impressed with the swim bait. I'm loving the way it swims. I know it's kind of hard to see. I may try to get an up close video a little bit farther down. Golly, it's so awesome. Ugh. Just eat the freaking water. Also, it's more of a slower This thing rides so high on the water column. I did not expect that. As heavy as it is, come here. Get up out there. As heavy as it is, I didn't expect it to swim like that, but it almost swims like this, almost like a rattle trap, which is really, really cool. It's totally different than what I'm used to. All right, so this is almost the exact same spot where I caught excuse me. This is almost the exact same spot I caught that fish last year on a chatterbait. And while I'm not using a chatterbait, this is really similar. It's got a little number 3 style willow leaf blade on there. And what that does is it's actually gonna, the skirt and stuff will actually stay up closer to the bait where it's silicone, and it'll kind of stick to it. And this little blade down here will almost work like a spinner bait and stay a little bit farther down in the water column. And like I said, I'm using that on a Shimano Jackal Poison Adrena. And if you don't have an Adrena, what are you doing with your life? Yeah, I got much grass on there. So I've been dragging this jig for a few minutes and I haven't had any luck yet. It's almost too grassy for me to be able to really slow down like I want to and drag a jig, because everything that I'm just getting a bunch of weeds and stuff when I come up. So I think I'm gonna switch over just real quick. Try something a little bit different. Actually, I don't even have a tight on. So, okay, so I think, you know what? I'm actually going to use, I'll try that. Yeah, I'm going to use it. This is a Z-Man Evergreen, what is it called? Jackhammer. And what I'll do is, so you get the swim bait, or the chatterbait, put a swim bait on there, and that's how you do it. All right, so I'm gonna bite this off real quick. Okay, I'm gonna try to film this. Like I said, it's my first video, so I'm still trying to learn about what angles where I need to place everything. But I tie an improved clinch knot in all my knots. Oh, well, not all my knots, but anything that I'm tying directly to, other than like a leader or tying with braid or something like that, I tie directly to. And what you're going to do is you run the line through, hold it back with your fingers, twist 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. And then what you want to do is you're going to run the line back down through this eye, and then you're going to hold everything together with your fingers. I use my 3 fingers right here to hold the main line, and then this is my tag. After you run it back through, you're going to take the tag and pull it through that second eye and pull everything kind of tight. And what you want to do right here is you want to spit on it, get that thing really lubricated so it'll slide just down the line like that. And I even sometimes will pull on the tag end and this. I'll get the spit off there so you can kind of see the knot. But then that's what you want your knot to look like. They'll also stack on top of each other, and then just bite that tag end off. I don't recommend using your teeth, but I've been using my teeth for so long fishing that I've almost got like a dimple, or not a dimple, but like a groove on the inside of my tooth where I'll bite fishing line so much. But that's what you want to do, and then you're all set. You just get out there, give her a good cast. But when you're fishing a chatterbait, mainly what you want to do is you just want to cast it out there, and you can honestly, there's a bunch of different ways you can fish it. You can start retrieving right off the bat, just like that. It'll get about halfway down the water column, and I'm using a 1/2 ounce jackhammer, Z-Man jackhammer, Evergreen, whatever it's called. And you get it in there and you just do a straight retrieve. You just reel straight back to you, and that works absolutely. I've used that technique plenty of times, but this is something that I really like doing. So you'll cast it out there, but what you'll do is you'll let it sit, and you can do this. So what you'll do is you'll almost work it the way I work is shaky head, but faster. So like on a shaky head, you're just going to kind of hop it up off the bottom, but where that blade gives off action, gives off the vibration like kind of like a crankbait. What you can do is you can pop it through that grass and reel over the top, let it sink. Pop, reel, sink. Pop, reel. Got some grass on there. You can do that, and it'll most of the time rip the grass off the bait. I'm not gonna lie. Where's that going? There we go. Okay, now I'm set. And you'll just give it a couple pops, let it sink, pop it off the bottom. And even though I'm using a shad profile bait, the colors and that kind of stuff, and even though it's got the shad colors and the shad style bait, you can still work this thing almost kind of like a crawfish. A lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll get a green pumpkin or a black and blue and work that like a crawfish. You know what, I'm actually going to use, I'll try that. Yeah, I'm going to use it. This is a Z-Man Evergreen, what is it called, jackhammer. And what I'll do is, so you get the swim bait, or the chatterbait, put a swim bait on there. But we're not having any luck, so I'm gonna make a few more casts and we're gonna switch up. And what I do is whenever I'm bank fishing, I try to fan cast. So I may cast over here for a few times, I cast over here for a few times, I cast over here for a few times, I cast over here for a few times. But where I'm going off the knowledge from last year, and it's about the same temperature right now and windy and that kind of stuff like it was last year. But most of the time what I'll do is I'll completely fan cast and just work every little section of everywhere I can reach on the bank. I'm gonna work every little section down. Usually I spend 10 to 15 minutes in a spot. Some people spend longer, some people spend shorter. That's just what I like to do. All right, so get all my stuff cleaned up. Always make sure you pick up your trash whenever you go fishing. Don't be a piece of garbage and leave your trash out, because those kind of people need to be kicked. All right. I'm gonna go down a little bit farther than where I was. Yeah, this spot right here. I'm actually going to throw this nacho gill, try to get you guys a better view of how it swims. So if you look here in the water, it'll sink. Well, it's really hard to see. I thought that would be better. There we go. But see how it rides really high in the water column? I absolutely dig that. And I'll show you guys the farther I get into my channel, but I run all my rods, like all my reels, really loose, a lot looser than most people do. Just because where I'm a little bit more experienced, I don't have to worry about backlashes as much, knock on wood, because I'll probably backlash like a crap ton here in a second after I said that. But I don't, the more experience and more comfortable you get with your rods and reels, the less you can tweak your magnetics and your braking systems and all that kind of stuff. Because once you start loosening it all, or loosening it, good lord, I sound like a stupid redneck. When you loosen your stuff, you'll actually gain farther casting distance, and there's a whole bunch of advantages to being able to do that, especially from fishing with the bank, because I have a boat, but right now I don't feel like getting it all going, getting everything loaded up into the lake, especially after I worked this morning. So I just come out to the pond for a few minutes. But especially when you're bank fishing, you want to be able to get the most casting distance possible out of your gear. So you want to be able to really get comfortable with your stuff, so you can set that stuff lower so you can cast. One of the farthest casting reels that I've owned, and that's after using it for a year, and I have all the reels I got currently where I've upgraded. I haven't used it and broken them in as much. But I used to have a Corrado 70 HG, and it's one of their smaller low profile reels, and I used to be able to cast that thing across another pond like it was nobody's business every single time. And I wouldn't backlash it, but just spool it every time I would cast. And after you get comfortable with your gear, you are able to get farther distance. And especially like during the summer months, say if I'm wanting to run a rattle trap or a crankbait or something across this little section right here, I want to be able to hit that bank and pull it all the way back down to where I'm at currently. And that's going to give me the most, that's going to get the crankbait down as deep as I can possibly get it without it getting hung or dragging bottom or anything like that. But once you're able to get it as far as you can get it across the pond or lake or wherever you're fishing, you're in the strike zone longer, and you can have a better chance of catching more fish. I'm gonna switch it back up to the jig. And see, most people, what they'll do is they'll tweak it and they'll tighten their magnetics down like this, like where they'll click the bell or just barely do that. I don't do that. What I like to do is loosen it all the way up as far as it'll go. Let me get more line out. As far as it'll go, to the point where there's actually knock in the spool. Not quite. I don't really have to do it along this titanium because the magnetics are so they're really tight. But in most reels, what you want to do is just loosen it, just as loose as it'll go, to the point where there's when you move this, there's gonna be a knock in that spool. And hold up, I think I just left a bite. Nope, not a bite. Grass again. Told you. So, but what you want to do is like whenever I get really comfortable with the reel, I'll set that tension knob back as far as it'll go to where a point where I get a knock in my spool, and then I'll do a half a turn forward, just to where there's just a hair of play in it. And that is how I maximize my casting distance, my casting ability, and everything like that. Golly, it's so windy today. I'm excited for the spawn. You know, being completely honest, I'm so ready for the spawn. Like, I hate winter with everything on the inside of me. Fishing can be really good during the winter, don't get me wrong, but man, most of the time it is a grind to fish during the winter. You gotta slow down, you know, shrink down your baits, and whether I want to admit it or not, I'm more of a power fisherman, so I like big baits, you know, cranking them reels, hopping them jigs fast, you know. But that's the main reason I hate winters, because you really got to slow down and just barely drag and barely do this and barely do that, and that gets so old to me. I'm not patient enough for it. I may not catch anything today, guys, but we're hoping. But right now, guys, I think that's going to be it. It is really cold out here. I don't think they're going to be biting, and most of the time I would spend more time, but I'm in shorts and Crocs and my legs are like ice. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Raney Outdoors. I thank you guys so much for sticking with me through the rest of this video. I know it was extremely cringy, and the audio, I'm sure, was absolutely horrible, and my talking is absolutely annoying. But thank you guys so much for staying with me through this whole video. I really hope that 2020 is going to be one of my best years yet fishing. Last year was absolutely amazing. I caught 3 fish. Well, I broke my PB, but then I caught 2 other fish that would have previously broken it, which I caught. My previous PB was a 3.2 largemouth, and then I broke it at the beginning of the spawn with a 6.2, and then a 5.7, and then a 4.8. So hopefully 2020 is going to be another year, guys. Thank you guys so much, like I said, for watching Raney Outdoors, and this is going to be it for the first episode.